Welcome. You're listening to the Keeping Ashland Healthy podcast, a podcast production of the Mental Health and Recovery Board of Ashland County, Ohio. Thanks for joining us. And welcome back to another episode of the Keeping Ashland Healthy podcast. My name is David Ross, the Executive Director of the Mental Health and Recovery Board here in Ashland County. In the studio with me, very excited to bring back Jenn English. Welcome back, Jenn.
Hi, David. Thank you so much for having me back. I'm a little surprised you had me back,
we had a wonderful episode. We had good feedback from the audience.
Good.
And for those that did not have an opportunity to hear and see Jenn, she presented twice at our most recent RSVP conference. That information is still on our website. The podcast that we did, Jenn, received a lot of good feedback, and that is still out there available on iHeart or wherever you get your podcast. You can listen to that. But it wasn't just because you did such a wonderful job at the conference. I wanted to bring you back because after we spoke, you had an idea to do an additional yoga class. We teased about it. Most of the classes that you're doing are on campus.
Yes.
And you wanted to do something off campus. Nothing wrong with doing them on campus, obviously, but you wanted to do something off campus, and specifically to folks that might be in the recovery process, because as we'll hopefully get to later on, you know, that's real personal for you. It was a real critical piece of your recovery, yoga. So you wanted to share that, I think, with others in the community and not just on campus. So with that in mind, you know, this new group, it's on Thursdays.
Yes.
From 6 to 6:50. It's at 221 Church Street. And if you don't know that, listeners, that is the professional building here in Ashland County. So Thursdays in June, starting in June. 6 to 6:50. And what's the great thing is Jenn is able to do this at this point without any charge to folks that are coming. Is that right? Do
Correct.
I have that right? Okay.
Correct.
So this is really about, she feels so passionately about helping individuals in the recovery community. And she knows that yoga can be a critical part of that for them because it has been for her. But before we get to that, I guess I'm teasing the audience a little bit, Jenn. For someone who has never tried yoga before, again, we always like to start with this because I have to imagine there's always a percentage of folks in our listening audience that just don't know much. So how would you describe maybe what this class is going to actually look like or feel like?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So a class is going to feel very approachable, very casual.
Yeah. No special gear, no special equipment.
Right. We've got mats available if you don't happen to have a mat. And, you know, I'm there to put you at ease. You don't have to perform. You don't have to keep up.
Okay. I mean, even somebody who's never done it before?
Right. Okay. Anyone you're just going to show up exactly the way you are. I think, that's very important. You can show up in your sweats. There's no special equipment that you need to buy.
Just the mat, and you're going to have those.
Right, and I've got a mat. So
that's
you're
awesome.
Good to go. Throw your sweats on and show up. You'll feel welcome. It's just a great space to help you just feel a little more grounded, a little quieter.
Yeah.
With people that understand you.
Yeah. You said before to me, and it might have been privately, I can't remember, that a lot of people that are new to yoga, when they first start, it's all about, they're just trying to follow the positions. They're trying to get the positions right because it's all new to them. But once they start doing that, they start getting the other parts of it. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes. And for our trauma informed, our recovery centered yoga, we're also focusing a little differently as well. Obviously, you don't have to be flexible at all. You do not have to be experienced at all. You don't have to know anything about yoga.
Okay.
At all. It's just a real class for real people, with real bodies, live in real lives. And you don't have to push yourself at all.
Yeah. It's not a competition.
Exactly. You're not expected to perform. You're not expected to know any poses.
Okay.
At all.
I thought that was important for the audience to know. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And my yoga classes in general feel that way, but for the recovery focused yoga that we're doing here, it is going to be a slower pace, and we're really just trying to create a sense of consistency and safety and comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You use this expression in it's right on your brochure, quiet power. Can you talk
right.
a little bit about quiet power?
Right. So quiet power to me is strength that you don't have to force, you don't have to prove. It's something that you're building, without fanfare, without the social media post, without pushing yourself harder. That's not what we're doing in recovery or in our yoga. We're learning how to breathe. We're learning how to pause, how to feel steady when things are loud or overwhelming. The quiet power is just, being able to come back to yourself just over and over again.
Yeah. No, I'm starting to get a little emotional because I think where you're going to go with this, Jenn.
We do this to each other all the time.
Is because, audience, as you hear Jenn talk about this, and maybe you yourself or a loved one that struggled with substance use or maybe even mental health issues, everything she said is the opposite of what's going on with that person. That person, it's noises everywhere. They're so destabilized. Everything's loud. Everything feels out of their control and chaotic. So I'm hoping the audience is getting that. As you get them to that place, that's how that feeling. I mean, they don't even know maybe what that feeling, maybe they lost or maybe they never had it, Jenn. I don't know if anybody ever said to you, like, the kind of quiet peace that I'm getting from your class isn't something I've ever experienced.
Right. That's it. Or, well, I think we had it to talk a little bit about, but it's also reconnecting with your body.
Yeah.
That's it too, giving yourself that quiet that you can reconnect with your body, which is so important, in recovery or when you're in that survival mode, whether it's from stress or trauma or addiction, you tend to live very disconnected from your body. You're stuck in your head, you're reacting, you're feeling overwhelmed, or maybe you're just numb and checked out.
Yeah.
That's
so good.
Reconnecting with your body, you're bringing yourself back to that present moment, so you can notice what's going on before it spirals.
Yeah, I'm going to make a connection. I didn't tell Jenn about this in advance, but as she's talking about it, it's just so natural what she's saying. Audience, I've talked about there's a major push on to assist people that want to come off psychiatric medications. Maybe they've been on psychiatric medication, and one of the side effects, not everybody, but a lot of people feel when they're on these medications, Jenn, is what they call depersonalization or a disconnect from their body. That's exactly.
That's it.
And so I guess for my folks out there, that if you yourself or somebody that maybe is starting to taper off psychiatric medications by your choice, you've decided you want to see how you feel. Again, yoga might be a big part of how you come and get in touch, because that lack of connection that Jenn's talking about is sometimes brought on by whether, like you said, trauma situations, but also I think sometimes there are medications that help facilitate that, and folks don't always know that.
Yes, I agree with you. Yes.
Yeah. So you talked about that it's not everybody asks me this. Is there a religious component? So maybe we should get that out of the way.
Oh, right. No religious component at all.
Okay.
We're just focusing on breath, gentle movement, awareness, helping you feel more at home within yourself. I'm not asking you to believe in anything new.
Right. Yeah. I get that. No, you'd be surprised. Every time I talk about that I was going to have you on, or the first time, I said, no, would you agree there are some folks that do incorporate that? Not you, but there are some. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And
that's probably where that comes from.
Absolutely.
Then.
Yes, we do. Yes.
Yeah.
There's a spiritual sense, feeling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I noticed with the schedule, the class has like a similar structure, like week in and week out. So maybe
consistency.
Yeah. Why do you think the consistency and the predictability is that?
Yeah. Consistency creates a sense of safety.
Yeah.
You know what to expect. And then your body can start to relax. So even something as simple as the same class structure, each week, that helps to settle your nervous system. It helps to calm anxiety. I'm going to give you a steady, calm, reliable place to land every single week.
No, that's great. That's good to know. Folks are going to experience that, and they can, how do I say this? Rely on it, depend on it, expect it.
Exactly. That's what that is. That's what that is.
Well, there's one question. Some people may be carrying, anxiety, grief, stress, or just emotional exhaustion. So maybe tell the audience, how can that simple movement and just breathing help with things like anxiety, grief, or stress? Maybe give the audience a little bit of an insight on how the actual yoga that's going to happen in class does that.
Well, your breath and your body are, that's directly connected to your nervous system. So when things feel overwhelming, like anxiety and grief and stress, your body goes into a stress response, that fight or flight. Your breathing gets shallow, your heart, your mind starts racing. So, simple breath work helps to slow that down, signals your body that you're safe. And then, gentle movement helps release tension that you might not even know you're holding.
It's funny, you audience members have said this to me, and other people that have met you in person at the conference came up to me. And this is now, Jen, don't take offense to this. I hope you won't.
Oh.
This is what they always say. They said, when I'm just around Jen, I feel more relaxed. She's got like an aura around here. Audience, you're probably picking this up from her voice. I can barely get through this podcast. I am so relaxed. So I'm doing my best to stay, active here. But
you're doing pretty good.
You do have a very calming.
Thank you.
Do people tell you that though?
Thank you.
I've heard that.
Oh, it's just.
Oh, okay.
It's just all for you.
All right. Well, I'm telling you, people told me that.
No, thank you.
But I think even over the broadcast, people will hear that. And I think because we live in such a fast-paced, chaotic, loud world, I think your class is really different. And you and what you create, the environment there is very different to that.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm going for. I want this to be just a calming, quiet place if you want to just come and sit on your mat and just breathe and just be around like-minded people, you're welcome to do that.
Wow.
You don't have to do anything, just show up and
that's incredible.
Yeah, just be in a room that makes you feel comfortable and safe.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, and that leads I think the question that I really did want the audience to hear about, because you talked a little bit about your personal experiences and what kind of led you your journey a little bit. But what inspired you personally to begin this kind of work?
So I am just about 3 years sober.
Yeah.
And, yoga played a huge role in getting me there and keeping me there.
Yeah.
Gave me something steady to come back to over and over again.
Well, let me stop you, because that's what I do. I'm an annoying podcast host.
No, I like this.
You said something important, getting you there and keeping you there. Did you, when recovery is usually not a straight line, right? So are you saying before, when you were in recovery for a period of time, but then you had a slip or a relapse, you weren't doing yoga? Or were you doing yoga and you still had a slip or relapse?
Oh, well, I had started doing yoga before I had decided to get sober. So I had that under my belt for a little bit already. So when I did decide to get sober, I've been working on building those tools, and so it really gave me that strength, and I just came back to it every single day.
Yeah.
And that was my routine. That was my support, starting to help me regulate my emotions.
Was community part of that for you? Were you around others, or did you do it?
It did not start that way.
Oh?
Yeah, it did not start that way. It started as a private practice, something I was just doing on my own. But then, yes, when you start to go to community classes, you know how important community is.
Yes. We talk about connection and the importance of that. I just wondered,
Absolutely. And especially in recovery can feel so isolating.
Yes.
So being in a space where you feel understood, even you don't have to say a word.
Yeah. Did we talk about this? I see, again, I talk to Jen all the time, so I apologize, audience. During the COVID pandemic, when everybody got particularly people that were struggling in recovery, they felt so cut off from like their support groups and other things that we had all kinds of relapse issues during the pandemic when everybody was inside and they couldn't see and be around those people. So you're right. We have a lot of evidence during those years of the pandemic that connection for a lot of folks, community for a lot of folks is critical. We talk about that all the time on this podcast.
Yeah.
So.
And when I first started my practice, I didn't realize that. And then when you go through recovery, that's a big part of what they teach you in recovery is support. And so that's just what we're doing here. But you don't have to say anything. Again, you can just show up and breathe and just feel good knowing that you're with people that understand you.
So it really was, because it was so integral, it was so key to your own recovery, you just felt so passionate you wanted to share it?
I just need to do that. I need to share.
For yourself,
right?
That
too. Yes, I mean that too. You know how that is in recovery as well. You need to give back. You need to give back. But this is working so well for me that I need to share it.
Yeah.
I know it will resonate. I know it will.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's if you weren't able to get to the conference audience, I think that's what most of the folks are struck by. Jenn is passionate about this. She knows, because it's been so helpful for her. And the key words you said, Jenn, was not only getting sober but staying.
Staying sober.
Yeah, because a lot of people go. It was who was it? Bobby Kennedy just talked about how many. He relapsed 50 times from heroin. I was at a recent event where he said that. And a lot of people cycle like that, but it's to stay. Usually, inevitably, the person who's able to stay in long-term recovery has found something. And I'm always interested, because there's some variation. Don't get me wrong, but I'm always interested in what people find, because inevitably somebody else that's going to probably work for. Not everybody, but so that's why, again, I'm passionate about you sharing it, because not everybody, listen, audience, not everybody will benefit by Jenn's yoga, but I think a lot will.
Oh, I really feel that way as well. Yeah. I really do. Again, because it's just so adaptable. Yeah. I mean, it's just for you. Again, if you want to show up and move, if you want to show up and just be, anything that we do can be modified in a way to fit you exactly how you're feeling that day, which might be different than how you felt last week. Yeah. But I know if you can just get there, I know you'll love it. I know you'll want to keep coming back.
Well, and again, this starts June, the first Thursday in June, which I think is the 4th. Yep, she knows 4th. Her date.
I know my date.
June 4th.
I'm ready for this.
At 221 Church Street. It's the professional building here in Ashland County, Ohio.
Yes.
6 to 6:50. Jen will have the mats. As you know, expectations that you're flexible, or that you bring any special equipment or wear anything. Just show up, spend some time, and it's not that much time. It's only 15 minutes with Jenn, and give the class a try. And for a lot of folks, knowing that it's offered at no cost, how do they get in hold of you? Do they need to tell you in advance that they're coming, or do they just show up?
Oh, they can just show up.
They can show up. All right, then no need to register or anything.
No, we don't have any registration.
Okay.
Yeah, you just show up. Again, you can bring a mat if you have one. If you don't, I've got plenty. We've got a good space. I'm very appreciative.
No, absolutely.
For the space.
My hope is the community space there at the professional building. I hope that you outgrow that, Jenn, and we will find some else. Hopefully it grows, and right.
Yeah, definitely. A bigger space would be incredible if we had that need.
Awesome.
Too many people show up. Isn't that a really good problem?
That would be a wonderful problem. So, Jenn English, thank you. Thank you for coming back on the program and sharing this. And thank you for starting this group. I mean, we kind of talked about on that first episode where, as much as you love and you're going to continue to do the things on campus, you did want to go beyond that. I just think this is great that you're able to give back to the community this way, talk about your passions, and I just hope folks benefited the way you've benefited from it.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. That's all I want to do is just share what's benefiting me, and I appreciate the opportunity to do that.
Absolutely.
Thank
and
you so much for having me back.
Didn't even use the beat button this time. That was great, Jenn.
No, I mean, again, I heard that the editing was pretty grueling last time.
It was intense. This will require no editing, audience. So Jenn did wonderful.
I tried so hard to be on my best behavior for you, David.
Thank you again.
Thank you again.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Keeping Ashland Healthy podcast. The podcast is a production of the Mental Health and Recovery Board of Ashland County, Ohio. You can reach the board by calling 419-281-3139. Please remember that the board funds a local 24/7 crisis line through Appleseed Community Mental Health Center. It can be reached by calling 419-289-6111. That's 419-289-6111. Until next time, please join us in Keeping Ashland Healthy.